Tons of traffic on the fourth floor. They essentially own it, mostly working out of room 420, which ironically smells pretty heavily of weed. Break.
Oh, nope, spinning around.
Every day there are hundreds of thousands of ads online for sex, and behind many of these ads are victims of sex trafficking.
It's a dark, heavy subject, and it frightens people.
I thought this was a third world issue, and there's no way it could be taking place here at home.
A drug dealer can sell a kilo of cocaine one time, but a person you can continue to sell over and over.
The Super Bowl creates an event where people come to sell their wares. Now that might be a football jersey, it might be a human trafficker looking to sell his product. My name is Nick McKinley. I'm the founder and executive director of Deliver Fund, military special operations, central intelligence agency. I started looking around for a robust counter human trafficking capability, and I couldn't find one. I decided that the thing to do was to take the contacts and the technologies that I had access to and create a counter human trafficking organization that could assist law enforcement. We do what private citizens can do, which is sit behind keyboards and hunt down human traffickers, so that we can scale the effectiveness of what law enforcement can do and only they can do, which is point guns at bad guys and put them in cages.
We weren't real familiar with trafficking 3 years ago. We kind of made it our mission ever since then to be more familiarized with it, and happened to stumble across Deliver Fund along the road.
Up in this room, you've got world-class cyber experts, you've got world-class special operatives that are doing amazing things.
Human trafficking is not the same today as it was yesterday, so we continue to evolve Traffic Jam as this crime evolves. And so what Traffic Jam does is it takes all of this data, applies machine learning to it, and makes it actually useful for intelligence gathering and for investigations. At this operation, our goal is to sift through this information, use tools like Traffic Jam to generate useful leads. When an analyst starts with a tip, they can go into Traffic Jam and quickly find out how long a group has been active, whether they're new to the city or not, potentially how many victims are involved. So we use that machine learning and artificial intelligence to make technology work for the analyst. That's really one of our main missions, to be on the cutting edge so that we can be either on the same page as traffickers or even ahead to anticipate what's going to happen next. Law enforcement, they don't have the time to invent new technologies, but they make sure that we know what they're seeing so that we can continue to evolve the software as well.
I'm Jeremy Mayhew. I am the co-founder and senior vice president. 10 years in the Navy as a Navy SEAL. What we brought together for the Super Bowl is ITAC, or the International Human Trafficking Analysis Center, which is a conglomerate of a lot of partners. Typically, in any market, in any business, you have a commodity, and that commodity has to be advertised. In the world of sex trafficking, that commodity is advertised mostly online. So we start finding these advertisements that have indicators of being a victimized person versus a prostitution case. As we start to pull on that thread, we use all of these different tools that we have and put it all together so that we can supply that to law enforcement so they have the most full view. It's been really interesting to watch the ads that are posted and see where these guys are coming from. They're certainly coming in from other cities.
An analyst can start in Traffic Jam, run some information and get some more information on the lead. From that search, they may get another set of phone numbers and they can run those through Traffic Jam. We're seeing that these tools can kind of feed off of each other and produce a lot more information than they would just by themselves.
Carnegie Mellon University and one of their business partners, Marinus Analytics, actually started looking for activity. So they started looking for human traffickers that were advertising in, say, Ohio, and starting to move their way towards Houston so that they could sell their product during the Super Bowl. So they're here. they're ready to start selling, and so they're throwing up advertisements.
Trying to map out this network, and it was a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be when I first started it. This was kind of my index case. Everything pivoted off of there. I started seeing people that were advertised with the wrong picture, so it was almost as if someone was like, hey, you're a blonde, you'll do, but they're all part of that same network. So it seems like every time they go to a different city, they change their alias. So I have like Molly, Madonna, Isabel. A lot of these are taken from the third person, so I'm not sure if that's someone else, whether it be a roommate, a fellow victim, or the actual person who's controlling the operation. Because we see the cheekbone pretty clearly in the background of the mirror. So that could be the presence of a male, could be a pimp, could be whomever it is, but that was something that we are seeing it go all the way from Long Island, Dallas, all the way to California and up through the Pacific Northwest.
After we've got that open source intelligence side, then we'll go and verify it through a human intelligence side.
Your mission is obviously a human. Jill, you want to confirm, do not make contact. Do not make contact, right? When you make contact, again, it's like we talked about the other day. Putting that foot on that slippery slope. Is it legal? Is it not? We're just trying to remain outer ring. We have two pretty experienced guys here, so they'll make the calls in the field as far as if the girl is saying, hey, I want you to come into the hotel lobby or something like that. It's going to be up to Jim and Tim and Matt to basically agree on whether or not that's a good idea. Everyone has seen the photos of the girl that you're looking for. Feel free to profile the heck out of anybody you see around her, and good luck and keep us updated.
We have no clue what we're doing behind a computer, so our only role is to go out and do some of the secondary kind of surveillance work and confirm what these guys are seeing up here is actually happening on the ground.
Oh, there's that truck. Yeah.
White pickup truck has arrived.
And the girl's in the passenger seat. Start clicking away.
Girl is in the passenger seat. How you need to move that?
Solid copy. White pickup truck to arrive on station. Subject is in the back seat. Over.
Trying to get her.
From Matt's perspective, we have PID of the girl and have good photos of her from our perspective. Rolling video right now.
Mobile field services command. Be advised, I just received a telephone call from the subject.
We gotta get this guy. We're gonna do a mini tail so we can get this guy's plates.
Pick it up and follow as long as practical. Over.
Command, stand by for plates. It's a temp tag.
Okay, that's good. We just verified information. Verified her. Verified male adult that's driving her around.
I actually got a 27% match. This photo, which is the girl that they went out on the operation on. So we are a surveillance facial recognition company. We're able to identify persons of interest on a watch list using live video, and we're able to identify a person and send out a notification within a few seconds of identifying somebody. FaceFirst was brought in by DeliverFund today to support their operation in human trafficking. We're here to validate images from the internet in the internet back pages ads versus the photos that they're obtaining of people using their surveillance techniques.
You think that they're the same?
I think they're the same person.
Really?
Even a possible match here, which is a different profile.
It's a different girl.
And here. Yeah, these are all the same girl.
We've got an inbound lead tonight on possibly some trafficked girls. We're doing some due diligence on that entity.
We're going to cooperate some information given to us. It'll be at a hotel. You guys will be inside. I'll be on the outer perimeter. We're going to be using 2 vehicles. You guys will be controlling who's on foot, where you guys need to go, and we'll just communicate that way. Sound good?
Common misconception with human trafficking is that, you know, it's Chinese girls being shipped over in shipping containers, and that happens, right? I mean, and it makes for really good movie plot lines, and that does happen very, very rarely. Primarily what happens is you have a teenage girl who's a very vulnerable population, many times from a very low socioeconomic status. It's not only them, but that's what we find on the major majority of the cases that we work with. So then you have a trafficker who approaches her, says he's going to solve all of her problems, her emotional problems, her self-esteem issues, her financial issues, essentially befriends her through what they call the Romeo model, and then starts exploiting her once he's gained her trust. And then you have all types of trauma that happens. If the girl is not cooperating with the trafficker, then all they have to do is withhold their heroin. They start going into withdrawals. They get massive amounts of pain. They get psychological issues, a lot of anxiety, and they'll do anything they can, anything they need to get the heroin, which is why the traffickers that we've gone after in the past actually referred to heroin as the leash.
On the 4th floor,
I don't think anything came.
mostly working out of room 420.
I can't bad guys ever have front plates. Hello.
1 in 7 white males has purchased a human being online for the purposes of sex. Most of them think that they're just doing business with a prostitute, but that is just not what the data shows. So I don't think that the customers understand what it is they're doing. That doesn't excuse the customers for what they're doing, but I don't think they really understand that they are supporting slavery. Our core mission, and we've been doing analytics for law enforcement across the country, and we do that 24/7, 365. This is our first market where we specifically came for an event to counter the human trafficking that's happening because of that event.
One of the cool things about Deliver Fund and our partners, we will not only follow them back, but we will liaison between law enforcement, so their sins will follow them home.
What we're doing here isn't going to stop in Houston. It's going to continue.
When a large group of people come to a city, trafficking, we believe, often increases.
We're going to do this every single Super Bowl, and we're also starting to expand it out into other events. So far, at least 2 national networks that were uncovered. So the second and third order effect of the uncovering of those targets, I mean, almost incalculable. So this is market risk. This is how we will crush this industry and make it so that it's just not profitable to sell people.